Long ball number 2 here on Wednesday. A lot of Americans in action yesterday. Where do we want to start here? There's a few to choose from. Pulisic injured. Tyler Adams plays 90. Jedi Robinson gets 2 assists, but in a loss for your Fulham side. Where do you want to go with American midweek action?
I hate to be a downer, but the headline is that once again Christian Pulisic comes off injured. It looks like the same exact injury that kept him out for a couple of weeks the last time before he came back for the Supercopa in Saudi Arabia and helped Milan beat Inter. He just gets kicked in the calf, right? It's almost like he had a contusion. He had something going on there. He got kicked in it again, and it stopped working for him. And I think if it is the same injury, your hope is that it's not a long-term thing, that this is a couple of weeks again on the mend at most. And he came back a little bit earlier than I even think we thought he would in the last one. Mm-hmm. So perhaps it is precautionary. He recognized it. I'm wondering if he's being targeted. This is like.
So did you? Speaking of which, did you see the actual incident? Did you see that on replay of how he got hurt? So it definitely looks like a kick out, but it didn't look like the worst thing. I wasn't like horror show tackle by any means.
No, and it was the same thing last time, right? It's just he's got a player on his back. He's a step ahead. That player kind of kicks out to try to get the ball, but Christian's leg gets in the way, and now you got a calf connecting with the toe, basically, or the other way around, I guess, is the way to look at it. Milan ended up winning the game with Yunus Musa playing a nice role in it. I mean, I think the ball from Abraham to Leao is the story, but it was a good performance from Yunus Musa in relief. He came on in that game, so that's one American you can point to. You mentioned other Americans. Weston McKennie played as a 10 for Juve in their draw. And
he's the ultimate Swiss pocket knife. I mean, didn't he play fullback the other day?
He plays everywhere, and it's so odd. It's almost like Thiago Motta's trying to see if there's a spot that he can't play in. It's like well, maybe I'm going to throw this at him. He won't be able to handle this, and then sure enough, Weston looks good and he does something great, and then it's like, well, he won't be able to handle this, and sure enough. He does it. He figures it out.
Going back to our American bias story, it's like, well, he couldn't play that 6th position I tried him in, so maybe we don't want him next year.
Right. Yeah, he can only play 5 positions. Get him out of here. Send him back to America. Maybe the Fire want to buy him. That was the story,
yeah, Weston McKennie's lower third just says soccer player. It's not a position, nothing, just player.
No, he can't. You cannot pigeonhole him, and I think that's remarkable. One of the stars of the show, Kalulu scores the winner. And so he gets man of the match, the equalizer for Juve because they drew with Atalanta. But McKennie was very good in that game, and it's just sort of heartwarming to see him still do this every time out. Every time Motta asks him to do something different, he does it well. And I guess if you're Juve, we would love to beat Atalanta, but Atalanta's a very good team, still in the title hunt in Serie A. So I think you take that draw. And you say, all right, well, let's build towards that Champions League spot if you're Juve.
It comes at a tough time of the Pulisic injury as Milan take on Juve Sunday. So another matchup of some American involvement between the Juventus and the Milan players of American nationality.
I'm going to throw this in there from our man Nate. Can he play goalie? Let's see it. Let's see it, please. Thiago Motta, give him one shot, maybe a cup match or something. I don't know. Are they still alive in the Italian Cup? Like, give him one shot to play goalie, just so we can see how Weston McKennie does with the gloves on. Because I don't know if I should doubt him. All right, who else? What other American players should we talk about?
A notable one of the results of the round, Bournemouth probably should have beat Chelsea, but they end up getting a 2-2 draw. And Tyler Adams played the full 90 and got a pretty good rating. He was 0 for 3 on long balls, but did everything else pretty darn well.
Yeah, I know that from the game perspective, the result perspective, Chelsea fans are extremely upset that Mark Cucurella was not deemed to have been fouled, with a violent foul. I think it was David Brooks. Was that who it was?
Yeah.
For Bournemouth?
Yeah. They reviewed it, and VAR recommended a red, and the ref said, no, thank you, that's a yellow.
Yeah, it was wild. Chelsea fans are upset. Bournemouth probably still deserved to win the game despite that. They end up with the draw. Tyler Adams, he kind of gets, I'm not going to say lost, but I think it was the first goal for Chelsea, which was Nicholas Jackson playing in Cole Palmer. Felt like Tyler maybe wasn't great positionally in that moment. But, man, as long as he's playing and getting significant minutes, and Bournemouth is a pretty damn good team, I'm not going to be too upset about what we're witnessing right now with Tyler Adams.
The second goal for Bournemouth was an absolute rocket. Their attacking players for them, that was Semenyo, just an absolute cannon. Really impressive there. And I wanted to bring up your Fulham, Jason. Your Fulham totally could have gotten a result, but they seemingly tried to throw it away. Multiple.
You want to pick in my scab here?
We are. I am merely bringing up Fulham because Anthony Robinson, United States men's international players, did well, got 2 assists, but he did it for your team who kind of threw it away here.
Oh, kind of. Let's not pull punches.
Very much threw it away here.
Absolutely gave it away, and it was Andres Pereira who set up the first goal. It was Leno.
What did you learn on like your first week of soccer practice when you were like a tiny kid? What do you not do on the top of your own 18-yard box?
You don't play a square ball across your own 18-yard box. Maybe is that what you're saying?
And I know there's some things that don't apply when you're so good to be a pro and all that, but that one should still apply.
Yeah, I question Leno playing into Pereira in that moment.
That started it.
Back.
Yeah.
But if your argument is, well, Pereira's a talented midfielder, he should be able to handle that and make a good choice, and Leno is just doing what Marco Silva has instructed him to do, fine, whatever. Then put it on Pereira. But what about that third one where Bert Leno just again, like, what are we doing here? And I'll even look, those two are egregious. The second one is bad too. It's bad defending. the ball goes across Bassey's body and he somehow doesn't manage to get a foot on it. And although it takes 4 more passes for West Ham to score that goal, I'm still like, no, what are we doing here? Like, how do we lose the aerial duel, and then how does Bassey not clear it, and then how do we not find a way? I think there was a late runner, maybe a Wobie was late on the back post, mark the back post, mark the back post, mark the back post. Thank you, Rob. That was fun. Thank you.
Hey, this is merely an American Abroad segment. I didn't want to pick at your Fulham. I mean, Cottagers, do your thing.